Mindset and motherhood, mystery and ministry. You were never meant to remain frozen. You were meant to rise, rewrite, and be redeemed. And in this space, we will explore it all. Welcome to the Ink and Redemption podcast. I'm your host, Vicki Glass. Welcome to episode 1 of the Ink and Redemption podcast, also on YouTube. As I said in episode 0 of season 2, this is my rebrand. This is my coming to terms with my truth. And I don't mean that I don't want to offend anybody. Coming to terms with who I am as a whole person. I have, as I said before, I have lived 2 different lives. I had my writing and I had my faith. Well, up until 5 years ago, I was deeply into the occult. And I'm going to get more into that I will probably dip into it just a little bit every episode because it's an important part of the journey. And I want to be absolutely forthcoming in regards to that. So when I had my true awakening, my coming home to my Catholic faith, I was at this point in my life where I was starting my coaching business. Mindset, I got my certifications in neurolinguistic programming. I started cognitive behavioral therapy, learning about that and just in general mindset work, because that was very important to me. I have a blog that I will share because not long after I had my second child, I ended up with, I guess it was a postpartum, but it came into an almost like an agoraphobia. And it wasn't a true, because during the day, I could leave the house and that was fine. But it was as soon as nighttime came, I remember getting into the car and it was nighttime and I was going to go to Walmart, which is not far. I got a quarter mile down the road, had a panic attack, had to turn around and go home. And that was the last time I drove at night for a very long time. And so I really dove into mindset work because I needed something. There was no living involved in that. That's not thriving. And I had 2 children to be an example for, and here I am stuck in the house, can't go anywhere. You know, it was gradual. At first it was highways. I lost my confidence driving. And then my world got smaller and smaller and smaller. So I really got into the mindset behind it. And I also self-identified as a witch probably since high school. And, you know, because it kind of fell in line with the whole feminist thing. And, you know, that felt like the right path. And I was doing all that when something changed and I felt God calling. And I want to get all into that because it wasn't God at first. It was actually my patron saint. And that's going to be like a whole episode into itself, where she was calling me back to the church through meditation. And I know that a lot of people go to Christ from witchcraft because they had very bad experiences with like demons and whatnot. And I praise and thank my angel team that I never had that. I never had that experience. That was not something that luckily I had ever experienced. I would meditate, but I would fall asleep. But I was able to pull myself out of that fear of the world. And unfortunately, I did do it with the New Age. So when I found myself going back to the church, actually followed my husband back to the church, I felt a kind of, well, I don't know how to do the mindset work at this point, because my only experience with mindset work was through the lens of New Age. And I'm like, that's not going to work. And I had already started this podcast. If you look back, I'm not going to remove them. I'm going to leave everything where it is, because this is a true, honest to God journey. And I want you to, if you feel so inclined, to see where I was and where I can. So there was several years there where I was trying to figure out what I was doing. And in that time, I'm also a writer. I write vampire novels, and I have literally been writing since I was 14 or 16. And I always had these big dreams of being an author. And all throughout that journey, I had a pen name, because for some reason I was very afraid of ridicule. I was afraid of ridicule and being judged. So I had a pen name because I didn't want anybody I actually knew in real life to find my books. It's all coming around to where I am at today. I just wanted to delve a little bit further into where I'm at and where Ink and Redemption is. And so I write under VM Darkangelo. I have 2 published books. I have a forthcoming book, which you can actually read the first, I don't remember how many chapters are up on a website called Ream. And if anybody's interested, I could link that. It's the forthcoming book I've actually started a very long time ago, and it's my baby. But as an author, you feel like you want to offend anybody. So I had all of my socials and everything, and I'm not like popular or anything by any stretch of the imagination, but I felt that I needed to keep my faith. Even when I was into New Age and whatnot, I felt I couldn't keep that next to my author name, even though it actually would have probably lended better to my vampire and whatnot with the witchcraft. But anyway, so it was still a fear of being judged. So I didn't come out that way. I don't think I've ever actually come out publicly saying that I was into witchcraft. I would say New Age and like occult-like stuff. And so I kept that very separate. So I had my VM Darkangelo, and then I had my Vicki Glass coaching, which never had the chance to take off because I suddenly felt this conflict within myself. How do I do mindset work without the New Age? So, and there it froze for 3 years. I think 3 years is when that podcast came out. And I didn't know what to do. So I didn't do anything. As is the case with myself, is that when I get stuck in an indecisive position, I do nothing. And that's not great. And that's also what part of this journey will be, is getting over, like you would call it, the shadow aspect of yourself. I'm still going to use certain terms. I like shadow work because we do have the darkness that we have to fight. Our human nature is always fighting off, I should say the comforts of the darkness, because if you're not being spiritually attacked in some way, then you're probably not doing something quite right. Because as a friend of mine said a few years ago, that when you first especially in the beginning when you first go back to church. Yeah, all the anxiety, all my insecurities came raging back. And he said to me, he said, Vicki, he said, now that you are coming back to Christ, you have a big target on your back. Because one thing the devil doesn't like is to lose ground like that. So he will do everything he can to frighten you back into that submission. So I do fight that once in a while. I do fall back into an anxiety. In fact, recently when I did decide that there was going to be a merging of my two personalities, my writer and my mindset, I did start getting anxiety again, and I had to work through that. But it was about 2 months ago, I decided I'm doing it. I found that there are Christian mindset coaches. So I started going back in. I'm going through my classes again, but doing it from the viewpoint of the Bible. And I'll be signing up for a couple of courses that delve specifically into Christian faith-based mindset and Catholic. So I will be using the catechesis to help as well, which is beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. And I'm going to get into everything, because what led me out of the church from around high school on was the whole feminism thing. And I'm going to really, really dive deep into that. I think I'm going to do like a once a month, because I don't want it to be, I'm not harping on that every episode. I'm going to be doing the feminism once monthly. I'm going to be diving into which I call the sticky points of Catholicism, where other Christians have their hang-ups with us. They think that we're pagan, or some people don't even know we're Christian at all, which is hilarious since we were the first church. But at any rate, yes. So my rebrand, it comes down to, I'm not hiding anymore. I am bringing them together. I have been working on my outlines for this, which means I haven't been writing. So once I'm going to be batch recording these, probably 1 month at a time, so that I can go back in and write as well. Because I do want to release my Scarlet, it's called Scarlet Ribbons, by the way. She's out on Ream. She's going to go wide as soon as she's finished. And I will keep you posted on that if you want to follow along on that journey. I think the message that I want to bring home for this episode is the fact that don't be afraid to reinvent yourself, because your past does not define you. Other people may have an opinion on you based on your past, but that's not you anymore. That isn't you anymore. And the beautiful thing about coming home to Christianity is the fact that Jesus will forgive you anything. He is patient, and all glory to God, because he waited, 20 years for me to come back home. And it was the most beautiful feeling, literally like coming home. And I'm going to be honest, so coming home, but it was like coming home to your parents' house, but they rearranged the furniture, because at some point during them 20 years, there were some changes made to the mass. And when I went back to church, I was like, what? I'm a little bit lost, but it didn't take long to get back into it. And I did RCIA, because I did it with my stepson, because he joined us as well. And it was just a beautiful experience. I will get more into that as well. It's just, this is my story. This is my journey. And I'm also getting fully back into coaching, mindset coaching. So you're going to see a lot of that on all of my socials. You're going to hear about a lot of that. I was walking the dog this morning and talking. My neighbors probably think I'm nuts since I'm already talking to myself while I'm walking and I don't even have a camera in my hand. I'm probably just going to start doing that as well, because why not? I'm excited, and I hope that you will join me. And I promise, this is probably going to be the last episode where I'm like feeling a little disjointed. Everything else has got a lot more structure to it. I am excited about getting back into podcasting to help you guys with whatever you need, mindset, as I am homeschooling, homemaking. I want to be a homesteader. I have sourdough. I have a mill. I mill my own wheat. I'm trying to detoxify my house. So really, because we're not one thing. We are all multidimensional. And why not just be that? Because we are complicated beings. We are. And yet we are also simple and beautiful. And we are worth it. And you are worth it. And God loves you so much that it's almost euphoric. So I will be doing all of that with you this year. And I am happy that you're here, and I cannot wait to I have a devotional coming out. It was supposed to be out last Friday. It's just a short little thing. It'll be a PDF. It'll be on my Facebook page. You don't even have to subscribe to an email list for this. I'm just going to have it available to download right off of Facebook. My website is still coming along. I have a couple of blogs in the works that are coming out. I also want to move some of my other blogs because, as I said, we're not throwing the baby out with the bathwater. You can listen to my old videos or watch my old videos, which was writing. Still have a lot of great tips just for regular, everyday stuff. And the 8 videos prior to season 2 also have really good mindset work. You're going to be hearing me talk more about God. And if that's not your thing, I completely understand. But just know that that is just inseparable from who I am now. I'm not shying away from it anymore. I'm not hiding from it. I'm not worried that I'll lose followers because of it, because whoever is meant to be here will be here, and I welcome them with open arms. If you're just curious about what it means to be Catholic, absolutely follow along, because I don't even know everything in it yet. I'm going to be sharing what I learned with you. And we're also doing a faith formation with my children. I will probably have guests. I'm going to be interviewing and doing hosting with my husband, because I don't have a ring on. I don't often wear jewelry because they don't fit anymore. But I have a husband, and I will be having him on. I will have my children on occasionally. I don't know in what capacity they will be on video, but they are definitely going to be on the podcast. Because building strong families is what this world needs right now, and I want to help facilitate and build that. And that's my goal for this podcast and my YouTube channel and all of my socials, is to help people either come back to God, find God, or just live with a peace of mind that is yours, but you can't find it out there. You got to find it in here or with God, because it all starts with you. And I apologize. I probably will be doing laundry as I do this until I get my office up and running as well. I thank you, and I hope you have a beautiful day.